Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We are here to deep dive into the IT service management, focusing on the globally respected ITIL framework. In this rapidly changing digital era, efficient service management methods like ITIL have become really vital, actually. Then we will explore the evolution of ITIL, discuss its career implications, delve into its process approach, and talk about its relationship with ISO 20001. Lastly, we will weigh the pros and cons of ITIL, especially version 4, to equip with a balanced view, actually. And at the end, your questions and experiences are most welcome as we traverse these topics. So we hope this webinar leaves you with actionable insights and a deeper understanding of ITIL. Then, without any further ado, let's start. Okay. Yeah. About CFE CERT, it's the host company. Very briefly, CFE CERT is an independent auditing company, holds accreditations from different accreditation bodies, such as United Kingdom Accreditation Service, UCAS, and the International Accreditation Service, IAS, enabling it to operate numerous countries. In addition to this high-profile accreditations, CFE CERT is also a member of British Education Accreditation Authority. And about my company, this is Takas Consulting, which I represent here, is a global provider of consulting services and also software solutions, especially in the GRC, governance, risk and compliance domain, and also IT service management domain. Then very briefly, our mission is to ensure the provision of IT and business services effectively and efficiently, and ultimately ensure this is critical operational and cyber resilience. And now my turn. Again, very briefly, let me introduce myself. My name is Yalçın Gerek. My journey in realms with enterprise GRC, IT GRC, ITSM, and resilience and DevOps spans over 2 decades. I have spearheaded complex GRC and IT governance transformations and bringing my expertise to diverse landscapes, from Turkey to Gulf countries, GCC countries, and to UK and Europe as well. Now, I'm committed to driving best practices, offering advisory and consultancy services. And I have a list of comprehensive credentials. My involvement does not stop here. Also, I'm the key person behind the Konik and Konegelin's reference frameworks as well. And here, again, I want to share my insight and expertise with you today. Let's dive in and let's start. Here's the agenda. In the first section, we will talk about the overview, and the second one is key concepts very briefly. Then we will talk about also ITIL evaluation in a timeline. And on the fourth section, in the section 4, we will talk about the ITIL version 4, a little bit deep dive. And in section 5, how to migrate to ITIL version 4. Then later on, what does coming ITIL 4 mean for ITIL version 3, because it's the predecessor. And in the section 7, ITIL's career dimension. And later on in the section 8, healthy process approach in ITIL. Then the next one is section 9. We will talk about ITIL 4 pros and cons. I mean advantages and disadvantages. And in section 10, we will talk about the relationship between ITIL 4 and ISO 20000. And the last section will be conclusion. After the conclusion, there will be a section about the for questions and answers. And please do not forget, at the end of the webinar, you will participate a quiz, a simple quiz for the certificate. Just for housekeeping, this session is recorded. Sorry, I put myself in the correct place. Sorry for that. This session is recorded. Questions can be asked by chat. Please, at the end of the webinar, please provide your feedback and please participate in the quiz for the certification. Now, let's take a look to the overview section. At its heart, IT service management, or ITSM, is a strategy designed to drive the use of IT services within the organization. And actually, is it the primary aim of the ITSM? I can say no, because the primary aim is to ensure the business is armed with the right processes, right people, and right technology to achieve its goals. And ITSM is not just about support. It's about making IT a key enabler. This word is important, enabler, key enabler of the business success. As you can imagine, there are several roads leading to effective ITSM. Some might walk with the ITIL path, the others the COBIT path, or some may choose ISO 20000. No matter the route, each framework offers a roadmap for systematic and efficient IT service management. However, among these, ITIL stand out, taking the crown, as the most adapted methodology worldwide. So, sorry for that. And offering a detailed practice for ITSM. ITIL is globally recognized framework, and if we have a look to the full name, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, so is a rich collection of best practices which created to boost IT service management. Its mission is to help organizations create robust framework that aligns IT services with the business needs. This is important. I mean, it starts from the business needs. So we can ask why ITIL is so universally adapted. First of all, it's practical and straightforward framework for, let's say, identifying, planning, delivering, and supporting IT service. Offers enormous value to the business because we are in the digital era. So everything is a form of IT service. Every initiative in the digital era, I mean. What began as a series of books in the ITIL, each focusing on a specific ITSM practice, now has evolved into an integrated framework for delivering top-notch of IT services. And ITIL represents ever-changing landscape in the evaluation part and of the IT service management, of course, and providing strategic guidance for the business guide. This is also very important. I mean, every time it goes to the business side. And just a very few key concepts. At the core of the ITIL and IT service management lies the notion of the service. So you can see here the definition of the service in the glossary of ITIL. A means of delivering value to customers by facilitating outcomes without the ownership of specific costs and risks. This is the definition. So it's related with the value, and it's also related with the customers as well. ITSM, on the other hand, is dedicated to providing and managing IT services, aligning them with business needs. And also, when we have a look, especially the version 3, ITIL brought the service lifecycle to the life, a methodical approach, and where the services navigate through a life cycle stages, such as service strategy, service design, service transition, service operation, and also at the end, a whole continual service improvement. Actually, it starts as CSI, I mean, continuous service improvement, and then later on, it's a kind of loop. It's a continuous activity. And in the ITIL 4, with the advent of the ITIL 4, we now have this service value system. Now we are talking about a system, service value system. It's a novel concept that presents an operating model here. This is also very crucial. We are talking about a model for continual improvement and value creation in services. It interviews various ITIL components, offering flexible approach, actually, to the governance and management of IT services. This is also important. I mean, not only the management, governance and also management of the IT services. So SVS is the basic architecture or core part of the ITIL 4. Now, when we have a look to the timeline, I mean, the evolution of ITIL, here you can see the timeline. I mean, it starts 1980s. The journey commenced in 1980s, born out of a collection of best practices by the UK's Central Computer and Telecommunications Agency, which is CCTA, and aimed to efficient and financially responsible IT resource, actually, within the British government first, not only the British government, also private sector as well. And it swiftly evolved, you know, after the first announcement. By the 2000 and 2001, ITIL version 2 released a structured approach to IT service management, focusing on two sets. One of them is service support here, and the second one is service delivery. A more substantial evolution occurred with the ITIL 3 in 2007, and it brings for the service lifecycle approach with 5 defining stages. I previously read them: strategy, design, transition, operation, and CSI. Then in 2011, an update, refined version 3, enhancing the clarity and ironing the inconsistencies, actually. And the last one is, this is version 4, launched in 2019. We saw the most significant shift with ITIL version 4, where focus pivoted to the service value system. And here, approach to IT service management, intertwining various ITIL components each other, and advocating a flexible service management approach, actually, in the ITIL version 4. You can see that. Then turn back to the version 3 and also version 2011. Version 3, introduced in 2007, signified a dramatic shift ITIL framework with the lifecycle approach, service lifecycle approach. This model encapsulated 5 distinct stages. These are the stages here again: strategy, design, transition, operation, and continuous service improvement, each offering explicit guidance on delivering top quality of IT services in sync with the business needs. After version 3 in 2011, an update to version 3 addressed existing inconsistencies and rectified errors, thereby enhancing the clarity within the framework. So it is also an important update, actually. It wasn't a complete overhaul, rather. It provided expanded details on process and roles, and endeavoring to render the framework more inclusive and readily applicable, especially across the diverse organizations and in different diverse contexts. So it's a little bit different than the version 3, actually. If we compare the version 3 and version 4, the evolution from 3 to 4 marks actually a pivotal transformation to keep pace and with the demands of modern businesses, actually, because on one side the cloud, on the other side digital transformations. I mean, there are a lot of different progress in the digital area. So a significant change is to shift from service lifecycle approach to service value system, providing a holistic view of service management, because there was a need for that. Rather than process-driven like in version 3, version 4 is rooted in practices, not the processes, offering a broad, adaptable guidance. And also it is tailored to an organization's individual needs. This is also very important. Version 4 also transitions from 4 Ps of the ITIL 3. What are the 4 Ps? People, process, product, and partners, to the 4 dimensions. This is another approach, like let's say in the COVID, it's a kind of enablers, you know. And what are these dimensions? Organizations and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, and value streams and processes. So here, as you see, partners and suppliers is one dimension, is one of the 4 dimensions. And these dimensions signifying a more integrated outlook on the service management. Especially, I want to point out the partners and suppliers. After the cloud boom and after the cloud industry progress, there's a need to adjust this dimension as well from many perspectives, from the performance perspectives and from the regulations and also compliance perspective as well. Moreover, ITIL 4 expands from 26 processes defined very structurally to do 34 practices, from processes to practices. Again, it's very similar, just an analogy in the COVID, from control objectives to control practices or management practices, something like that. You know, you may see in the other frameworks this kind of transformation as well. So this practice is allowing a more versatile approach to the service management. And let's deep dive, a little bit deep dive to the ITIL 4. At the core of the ITIL 4 lies the service value system. So we will talk about a system, inputs, transformation processes, and outputs, and enablers, of course. I mean, when you have a look to the system theory or system science, you can see these 4 components: inputs, transformation of processes, enablers, and outputs. So nearly it's the same. If you have a look to do, it's a kind of derivative of this basic system concept. At the core of the ITIL, so ITIL 4 especially, lies the service value system. You can see the diagram of the service value system here. And this system, SVS, encapsulating various interworking components crucial for the value creation. So this system's outcome is value and also service. That means there's a stream from left to right, a value stream. It is a value stream in the, or by a value chain, of course, in the value system. With the integral parts, like the other ITIL service value chain at the core, you can see here, and continual improvement. By continual improvement, SVS fortifies an organization's ability to co-create. This is important, co-create value with all stakeholders. So it's a new approach, it's a new terminology, it's a new, again, phenomenon, co-creation. And co-creation not only with the ITIL or IT responsibles, IT departments, with all stakeholders, including the business stakeholders, including the vendors, suppliers, including the consumers as well. So that's why it's holistic. ITIL version 4 is holistic. ITIL 4 emphasizes 4 dimensions I talked about before. Again, maybe it may be beneficial to repeat it again. Organization and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, and value streams and processes. And so you can see that if we are talking about value streams, if we are talking about processes, and if we are talking about the operation model, there are some patterns, stream patterns in the system. This is also very important. So, and these are dynamic and adaptable patterns as well. So these dimensions, 4 dimensions, are invaluable actually when contemplating any service or aiming to improve any facet of the service value system. So here we need other components. And furthermore, ITIL 4 operates on 7 guiding principles. These are also important in order to make it applicable in any circumstances or any change. It may be tailored by these guiding principles. And the last part, again, 34 comprehensive practices. And these practices are divided into 3 categories. One of them is general management practices. The other one is service management practices. And the last one is technical management practices. And these practices offers a versatile tool set for ITSM. Now, I like this picture. It's from Value Insights. You can see all the components of version 4 in one picture. Here, let's say value system, and then value chain. At the core of the value system, you can see the value chain. And you can see here principles, 7 guiding principles: focus on value, start where you are, progress iteratively with feedback, collaborate and promote visibility, think and work holistically, keep it simple and practical, optimize and automate. These are the guiding principles, especially during the implementation and operating of, in the operating of SVS, service value system. And here is the value chain, a kind of stream from demand to value. There are other components of the value chain here. And here's the governance cycle and the value creation balance. And also you can see in this infograph the certification scheme as well. And the 4-dimensional model is here organization, people, information technology, value stream, and processes, partners, and suppliers. And again, service relationship management, because especially in version 4, you can find a lot of emphasizes about the relationship management. And moreover, it's a kind of iterative process. I mean, the relationship is a kind of iterative and maybe endless process. It shows this as well. And here, continual improvement loop or life cycle, starting from what is the vision, and at the end, how do we keep the momentum going? This is also very familiar with some of the other frameworks as well, but I mean, as a whole, this is the big picture of the ITIL 4. What we said is ITIL 4, I mean, at the basis of ITIL 4 lies the fundamental aim of aligning IT services with business needs. So by recognizing that its contribution to business objectives is pivotal for maximum value creation, the aim at the end of the day is the value creation. So ITIL 4 places the special emphasis on the co-creation, as I said before here, of value, not only IT departments, IT responsibles, IT workers, acknowledging the indispensable roles with the service providers and also consumers as well, play a forging value with the services quality, not only by its inherent attributes, but also its ability to meet consumer needs. Also, this is important. And at the end, when we have a look to the value chain, which is the very at the core, I mean, a vital element of version 4, underpins the alignment and co-creation of the value. As a flexible model, it aids organizations in transforming demand into valuable services for the specific needs, so thereby providing an end-to-end perspective on how different organizations or organizational components collaborate to create value. So the outcome of the system is value. There's a chain. This is value chain. This is at the core, and starting from demand, business needs, and then it depends on the organization's needs or organization components. You can tailorize your own patterns in this value chain by using, of course, the practices, practice models. It is very flexible and adaptable. When we have a look to version 4 again, it constitutes the latest step in the ITIL evaluation, and it's again rejuvenating the ITIL 3 to mirror the transformation witnessed in IT and business environments. This is also important in the 4. Integral to version 4, there are components such as the ITIL service value system. As I emphasized a couple of times, it is the core part. And at the core of the system, there's a value chain part. This both of which offer a important crucial model for the ideation, planning, execution, and enhancement of the services. And moreover, version 4 broadens the practices previously identified, presenting a total of 34 in the version 4. Remember, these are general management, service management, and technical management divided in these categories. These are providing an all-encompassing guide for the service management in an organization. So significantly, ITIL 4 assimilates different principles, methodologies, not the frameworks, methodologies, principles, techniques from agile, lean, and also DevOps. So a shift way from traditional processes to do a holistic approach by integrating, converging, unifying them. So this approach to service management that welcomes modern and adaptable methodologies. So as a whole, also this approach adopts different methodologies, as it is mentioned here, Agile, Lean, and DevOps, maybe in the future the others. And when you have a look to the value system again, from opportunity to value, from needs to value, in the value system, guiding principles, governance and management practices, value chain, and continual improvement. These are all here. And also on the right side, the value is the outcome. So when we have a look to the practices, which is mentioned here, there are 34 practices. Service management practices are here. Technical management practices are here. And moreover, general practices are here. I don't want to read one by one, but since the slides will be shared with you, you can have a look. You can later on read the slides, and you can again understand these practices as well. And when we have a look to the value of implementing version 4, version 4 is a powerful framework that represents a lot of benefits geared from enhancing service management. It stands out for its agility and flexibility, offering organizations the capability to swiftly adapt and adopt to the changes, and a better align IT services with business needs. Its compatibility with the contemporary service management methods, as I told you before in the previous slide, Agile, Lean, and DevOps, allows for seamless integration for these methodologies into service management practices. Because at the end of the day, enterprise ITs or the IT organizations produce service, not the product. So this is very key. This is very important. And ITIL 4 underscores the importance of co-creation again here, the value of the co-creation, promoting a collaborative, customer-centric approach. And also, it has a data-driven perspective as well. That means data, information, and knowledge perspective for insightful decision-making. This is also very crucial, very important. While its guideline on resource optimization and process elimination can lead to significant cost savings, so it's another value which it can be produced, the adaptation of the version 4. And most importantly, ITIL 4 fosters a closer alignment between IT services and business objectives. Not only business needs, objectives, business objectives, and business goals. So ensuring that IT initiatives contribute directly to the business success. This is for sure very important. So ITIL 4 fosters this. These are the values of implementing and adapting version 4. And how can we migrate to version 4? Let's have a look at this one. Actually, this is just these steps, we put them here. Maybe if you have a look to different resources or sources, you can see different steps. And when we have a look to the inside of the version 4, also there are different explanations in these steps. But very briefly, I want to put these 4 steps here. These steps enable, in our opinion, a seamless transition. When we have a look to the step 1, the first step is to conduct a true review of existing ITIL practices. And also you will want to identify what's working well and what could be benefit from the updated guidance offered in the version 4. And during this stage, maybe a gap analysis, and additionally maybe, or a kind of maturity analysis can be beneficial in identifying the areas that you need to upgrade or that you need to change or transform. At the second stage is to invest the necessary training and education. Again, this is very crucial from our perspective. Those in your organization who work with the ITIL, let's say, particularly they may have version 3 certifications, or they may not have. There's a need to familiarize themselves with the new concepts and practices introduced in version 4. So when we have a look to the certification scheme, Axios offers a range of version 4 trainings and certification options. So you can receive a lot of information about this part as well. But this is the step 2, and this is very important in our opinion. Otherwise, please don't go to the step 3. And when we have a look to the step 3, the third step, involves the actual implementation and transition process or transformation process. Depends on the size or impact of the change. This is where you will begin to incorporate the principles, to the framework, practices, processes, the 4 dimensions, the guideline, everything, into your organization service management, because you will use the framework as a tool and you will establish your own management system, like the computer operating system, with the ITIL version 4 service value system. It's a kind of upgrade in your management operating system. And the final step is to engage in continual improvement. This is a key element of version 4, which places a strong emphasis on the need for services to continually evolve and also improve in order to effectively meet the business needs and also align with the business objectives. So this is also, you cannot stop at the end of the step 3. Okay, we perform the transition and okay, it's finished. No, it's not finished. It's a kind of spin and position. Either you can increase the maturity, or maybe there may be decreases in the maturity as well. But you have to do that. You have to continually improve your services, and not only services, like again, as an analogy, like your operating systems in the computers, this is a management operating system, you have to upgrade it. It's the continual improvement part. The challenges, migration from version 3 to 4, and also maybe you can use some strategies to overcome these challenges. The first challenge is it lies in the transforming the organizational mindset. This is important. With the ITIL 4 holistic approach compared to version 3 process-centric focus, it is essential to cultivate an open culture and facilitate clear communication. Remember the co-creation. So you need to do this. You will face this challenge, and as a strategy, you can apply change management and effective communication to overcome it. And the next challenge 2 is training and upskilling. The introduction new methodologies in the version 4 calls for training and skill development. Though it might require substantial resources, it's an investment, of course, and into an effective and certified version 4 training courses. These may equip your staff with the confidence and and know-how for the success transition. So the strategy is of course education, and certification. And lastly, aligning with the business strategy, aligning with the version 4 framework, the business strategy, it could necessitate structural changes, demanding added management attention, and having leadership involvement. Let's say in different languages, it may be power, it may be, let's say, called poison, in different names for this empowerment, for this leadership involvement. From the get-to-go and ensuring the transition aligns with the business objectives. So this can help address this. And effective planning, necessary training, leadership engagement as in the strategy side, and also regular process monitoring are crucial in our opinion, and to align the transition with the business goals. Challenges and strategies. Okay, what does the coming of version 4 mean for version 3? Let's have a look from the version 3 perspective. When we have a look at the improvements in the near future, we can put 5 different key improvements on the table. With ITIL 4, we have ushered in a fresh and modern perspective to the IT service management that has numerous enhancements actually over the ITIL 3. The concept of value co-creation, this is number 1, emerged as a focal point, as I mentioned before, shifting and emphasizing from merely delivering services to engaging a dynamic collaboration with customers and also co-creation value. And in addition, we have introduced here guiding principles originating from Agile, Lean, and DevOps to aid the making effective service management decisions. And a new concept, 4-dimensional model, I repeated twice, I guess. Organization, people, information technology, partners, suppliers, and value streams and processes. Service value system to visualize the interconnectedness of the organization components in creating value through the IT-enabled services. This is also important, with the value chain. And lastly, ITIL 4 favors a holistic approach, as I said before again, focusing on flexible and integrated end-to-end value delivery, a shift away from version 3 process-driven approach. So these are the 5 key improvements here and new features in ITIL version 4. Impact of version 4 on the ITIL version 3 practices or processes. When we have a look this part, the impact part, ITIL 4 brings significant enhancements to version 3 and enriching the practices in the service management. The rigid processes, a little bit rigid process in the version 3, have evolved into flexible practices and a value chain, of course, offering more adaptable and context-sensitive approach, which is suitable for diverse organizational contexts. And also furthermore, the integration of Agile, Lean, and DevOps methodologies permits quicker responses, efficient practices, and cultural shift towards better collaboration and feedback. Remember, holistic approach, convergence, consilience of these methodologies in a single framework in ITIL 4, so you can receive a lot of value, a lot of benefits, instead of applying Agile on one part, Lean on the other part, DevOps on the other part. No, it's a holistic approach, it's a converged and unified approach, so it may bring all together under the umbrella of version 4. And a standout aspect of version 4 is to increase emphasis on customer collaboration, which advocating active engagement of service providers and consumers, fostering a more interactive relationship. And finally, here, version 4 showcases greater flexibility and versatility, allowing organizations to tailorize their service management practices for their unique requirements, because each organization has its own management operating system. So it must be tailorized. You cannot put as a whole without any change to any organization. I mean, previously we can see a lot of implementations. I mean, force them to suit under a framework. It's not possible. Every organization has a different management operating system. So by using these models, this kind of models, holistic models, you can improve the maturity and capability of the management operating system of an organization. And let's have a look to the career dimension. Here in this two slides, this one and the next slide, I put some charts regarding with the salary and also demand to the ITIL certification. And when we have a look to the importance of the ITIL certification, it can be a springboard, a kind of jump for your career in IT service management, giving you a competitive edge in the job market. Actually, it showcases your advanced understanding of ITIL framework and enhance your professional credibility, signifying also your commitment to skill and knowledge improvement. This is also important. Not only it boosts your earning potential, but also opens up maybe a broader job prospects, extending beyond IT service management into other areas. Maybe project management, business analysis, maybe business operation itself. It helps. We can see a lot of people from the IT service management jump to the business side, operation side, and as a manager, it helps you develop robust ITSM skills, touching on every aspect of the service lifecycle, and also globally recognized. It can pave the way of international career opportunities and can even act as a catalyst for stepping into leadership roles, as I told you. And also underpinning your understanding of aligning IT services with the business needs. So it really increases your skills and capabilities. So this is the importance of the ITIL certification. And when we have a look to the market demand, on the left side, you can see that there's a drop in the demand, especially in the COVID era. However, again, there's a increase in the demand, especially after some regulations, after the progress in the cloud area. I mean, really, there's again a trend, increasing trend in the ITIL certified professionals or ITSM certified professionals. ITIL influence spans from, let's say, not only IT, I mean, healthcare, finance. If there's a digitalization or digital services, you can use ITIL perspective there. So also you can employ ITIL certified individuals on an upward trajectory, let's say. And also top companies in the IT industry, IBM, Fujitsu, HP, and the others, they prefer, and also cloud operators, they prefer ITIL professionals, recognizing their ability to enhance IT services, digital services, not only IT, or ICT services, telcos, let's say, information communication technology services, efficiency through the structure of ITSM approach, which ITIL facilitates. These professionals can expect a rewarding salary, particularly in the UK, where the ITIL Foundation certified individuals can anticipate earnings between 35K to 50K, but not, please, I mean, these are all gross figures. and even a higher advanced certification levels. This is the only foundation. I mean, in short, ITIL certified professionals demand is at an all-time high, and the future looks promising, you know. So it's a good investment. And you can see a table here, which is prepared for this webinar. You can find the comparisons of ITIL certification with the other known certifications in the market. And ITIL 4 holds a distinct position among the various IT certifications. And each of them maybe uniquely contribute to the IT industry. And this table, as I told you, is prepared for the webinar. PMP, let's say CISP and the others, focus on maybe project management, cybersecurity respectively, while ITIL 4 homes only the IT service management. And there are some differences in the exam structures. I mean, the number of the questions, also the requirements for the certification. And despite these differences, all these certifications enjoy a global recognition, by the way, and offer a wide range of job opportunities. So just underscoring the ITIL version 4 standing in the IT industry. Just we want to show this in this table. You can analyze it after the webinar. Okay, then this is a question which was forwarded for the webinar. I mean, before the webinar, and the host company asked us to talk about this part as well, healthy process approach in ITIL. And when we have a look at this one, what does it mean? What is process approach? What is the importance of the process approach? ITIL is a robust framework with its process-oriented or practice-oriented approach, brings a structure and predictability to IT service delivery, which is essential for the customer satisfaction. This is the first one, the importance. And its strength lies in the comprehensive management of IT service lifecycle and the alignment. Again, I can say that it fosters between IT and business strategies, ensuring IT initiatives maximize value delivery by adapting the service value system and service value chain and patterns. ITIL's approach also encourages clear role delineation with teams, enhancing accountability and efficiency. And moreover, ITIL embodies the principle of continuous service improvement using legacy Deming cycle and PD, plan, do, check, act model. This pushing services to meet and even exceed customer expectations. So these are the importance of the process approach. And when we have a look to the steps for developing a health process approach, also just we can say that there are 5 steps here. We determined this 5 steps from our experiences, previous experiences, to establish a healthy process approach in accordance with the ITIL guidelines. The first step begins by deeply understanding the business strategy and objectives, of course, to ensure all established processes align with them. And at the second step, defining clear objectives and measurable outcomes for each process is crucial, as it gives a direction, you know, sets a success benchmark for performance evaluation. And moreover, when we have a look to the step 3, equally important is the efficient allocation of resources and clear definition of roles to improve team accountability and efficiency. This is the step 3 for developing a healthy process approach. And when we have a look to the step 4 for a healthy process approach, regular performance reviews and evaluation mechanisms help promptly identify and also rectify issues, you know, and ensuring service quality. And lastly, Again, fostering a culture of continuous improvement is vital to align with ITIL's principle of continuous service improvement, and also ensuring consistent delivery and exceeding of customer expectations. This is also important because at the end of the day, the outcome of the system is used, or outcome of the processes is used by the customers, consumers. So their expectations and also their perceptions are important, I mean, regarding the value, of course. And when we have a look to the benefits of adopting a process approach in IT service management, it yields numerous benefits from enhancing service quality, consistency via standardized tasks, improving efficiency and productivity by identifying, addressing redundancies and also bottlenecks as well. It also strengthens risk management here by offering a better visibility of potential risks and minimizing and also mitigating their impacts. The approach provides a clear view or visibility of IT costs and assets. Cost is important, either in the enterprise IT or also an IT company or IT service provider company, a cloud company or telecom company, and assets from planning to budgeting and also resource allocation. And also a key aspect of this approach, I mean process approach, as we talked a couple of times in this webinar, is fostering continuous improvement by regularly monitoring and enhancing processes to meet evolving business needs. And the last one is, and also in essence, implementing such systematic and structured processes enables organizations to align IT services with business objectives, and also leading maybe for the improved performance, and also at the end a greater maybe customer satisfaction and overall a business success. So these are the benefits of adopting a process approach in the IT service management. And in order to adopt this kind of process approach, you need a framework, you need a system upgrade, but at the end of the day, these are the benefits. Pros and cons. Okay, we talk a lot of good things about version 4, but let's have an objective, try to have an objective view. And on one side, in this slide, this is important, and this is also special to this webinar. On the left side, there are pros. On the right side, there are cons. And when we have a look to the pros side, I mean advantages side, ITIL V4 have been widely recognized. This is important. And this global recognition boosts professionals' credibility. And with the version 4 enhancing this true service value system. And this ensures effective service management while accommodating a broad range of IT practices on the system. And moreover, ITIL framework offers a comprehensive guidance on effective IT service management and integrating seamlessly with the other standards, other emerging trends, other methodologies. So not only integrating, also incorporation maybe, or incorporating with agile DevOps and lean methodologies offers a dynamic and flexible approach to the service management, and placing emphasizes on customer experience. This is also again important because the customer journey, customer experiences is very important. Of course, value co-creation is also very important. So you have to deal with as well. I mean, not to produce the service and forget it. In version 4, by using the service value system, you need to focus on the co-creation. You need to focus on the customer experience and customer journey. And however, when we have a look to the challenges, to implementing ITIL, the processes can be time-consuming, especially implementation, and also it is tools, information structure, resilience, and consilience. I mean, putting all the knowledge together, maybe time-consuming, resource-intensive, and costly. And as a disadvantage or as a cons, the transition version 4 might be complex if you think about the version 3 or version 2. It requires more adjustments on the system. I mean, a kind of a little bit high upgrade to the system. And also implementing version 4 may require a cultural shift, which can be challenging, especially for the IT people and management as well, and even the other stakeholders as well. Additionally, due to the breadth and depth of the practices involved, it might be particularly challenging for small businesses, especially. It may not be easy for the small businesses to implement version 4. And lastly, ITIL's perspective nature can be seen as a rigid and potential hindering adaptation and innovation. And transitioning to version 4 involves a kind of extensive change management and training, which could be resource intensive, as we mentioned at the beginning. So these are the cons of the ITIL version 4. And the next section is again a request from us for the webinar. What is the relationship between version 4 and ISO 20001? ITIL 4 and ISO 20001 share a common goal, actually. These are both champion the delivery of quality of IT services and aligning with the business objectives, advocating a process-oriented approach and continuous improvement. On one side, ISO 20001, as it's a standard, it has formal requirements for service management system, which is called service management system, like in the other ISO standards as well. While ITIL 4, a best practice framework, it's not a standard, and it offers guidance on meeting these requirements. So organizations can leverage ITIL to implement processes to meet ISO 20001's requirements. So it's a tool, you know, the model, you can use it for the ISO 20000 requirements. And furthermore, the application of ITIL processes can aid any organization or an organization in securing ITIL 20000 certification. If, especially last 10 years, when you have a look to the regulations and compliance side, you can see that many regulations underpin or ask these standards as an underpin or as a requirement, mandatory requirement for the compliance. So in order to securing this certification, ISO 20001 certification, so you need to demonstrate an effective service management system. So ITIL version 4 aids in this goal, achieving this certification. Okay, how we adapt both of them to improve the IT service management system or system. It harmonizes, and both of them harmonize, or there may be an interplay between ITIL 4 and ISO 20001, enables organizations to enhance service management by combining best practices and formal requirements together. And through the alignment of ITIL practices and service management system requirements, organizations can ensure consistent and quality services and also delivering through robust and efficient processes. So not only the services, of course, the process. I mean, since we are talking about, again, a system, inputs, processes, enablers, and outputs. So you can ensure all of them by using these two, ITIL 4 and ISO 20000. The synergy between the framework facilitates continuous improvement, integrating ITIL improvement model, and also with the ISO 20001's strict improvement requirements. And finally, the co-application of these frameworks, co-implementation of these frameworks drives higher customer satisfaction, merging ITIL 4's emphasis on value co-creation with the ISO 20001's mandate or requirements for the meeting the customer requirements. So really, it's a big potential value delivery if you implement both of them at the same time. And as a conclusion, today we covered quite a bit ground on ITIL. We began by understanding the basics of ITIL, which is a globally recognized IT service management framework. We then delved into the evolution of ITIL, specifically the transition from ITIL to ITIL version 4, emphasizing a more holistic approach to ITIL service management. Next, we explored ITIL's career dimension, discussing the importance of ITIL certification for career growth and strong market demand for ITIL certified professionals. We then discussed the importance of the healthy process approach, which is very special to this webinar here, and the role of that processes play in the successful implementation of ITIL processes. Afterwards, we delved into the relationship between the version 4 and ISO 2001 relationship, and highlighting the correlation between two standards, or standard and the framework, to benefit the adaptation both. And lastly, we took a balanced view on the advantages and potential challenges associated with the ITIL 4. For the features scope of ITIL 4, I mean, we can talk about the benefits. To wrap up, ITIL 4, a comprehensive approach to the service management, boost the customer satisfaction and overall business success. Its future-proof framework is ready to handle emerging technologies, positioning it as a durable model in a, again, swiftly changing technical or technological environment, digital environment. For professionals, gaining ITIL 4 certification is highly beneficial, as there's a substantial demand for individuals with a strategic and hands-on grasp of ITIL service management. And we must also remember the alignment of ITIL 4 and ISO 20000, which promotes effective integration and guarantees adherence international standards and also compliance as well. That's it. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much listening, participating to the webinar, and listen or consume your time for the webinar. I hope that it will create a value at the end of the day. And here are my contact information on the slides, and we can jump to the questions and answers. And also, after this session, please don't forget the quiz part. Okay. Any question? I'm trying to have a look to the chat site. Thank you very much, by the way, your comments. again, I want to emphasize, I mean, really some of the slides, and not all of them, of course, there are some diagrams. However, the others are special to this webinar. So I hope you can enjoy and you can get value from them. Please have a look again, and then I believe that it will also create help in your initiatives. Okay. I didn't receive any question. Again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your participation. Take care and good luck to you in the exam quiz. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.